Functional burnout, let's talk about it. First off, imagine you and I are sipping and having some tea, and it is 2027 and a whole year has gone by, and you are sharing with me your testimony of you being on the other side of where you want to be, aka there. What does that testimony sound like? But before you go ahead and get into that, let's talk about aligning your schedule every single day with that version of yourself. So if you already knew what your testimony was, that means your schedule, starting with today, has to match up in order to have that identity shift. Now, cycling back to functional burnout. The reason why so many people are functionally burnt out, meaning you are doing the daily methods of operation, but yet your gas tank is on empty. You no longer feel that light lit back in your spirit. It almost feels like it's dimmed out. And you're almost like, well, what's the point of doing this stuff? Because I'm hitting these check marks and I don't feel like I'm ever going to feel the way that I want to feel. In fact, I just feel numb at this point. So people that are functionally burnt out are my high achievers, the ones that want to build righteous lives, businesses, and legacies, and cultivate healthy relationships along the way. What I've found, especially as I've also been able to do several different identity shifts in my business, in my life, in my relationships. And recently I'm going through another career identity shift because what got me here to do this is not in alignment to my next assignment of what I have to build. And it's the same thing for you. So when people are building out their schedules, I can't have that same schedule of being a book writer to write a book, going into this space of learning how to expand and steward the information on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. There has to be completely different things blocked inside of my schedule, inside of my day-to-day, as I'm developing new skill sets, learning how to communicate more efficiently, and covering different topics that are going to interest the listeners. So when people are basing their schedule out of a default character versus that testimony that you and I are sipping a cup of tea, cheers to your testimony this time next year, you're able to tell me the testimony of the things of who you had to become and aspects of yourself that you had to overcome. And now you're on to your next assignment, to your next thing. And even in scripture in Isaiah, God talks a lot about how renewal your mind. This is a new season for you. And that